that means it's another Mama Mondays, and the ladies are all back. Sarah Lenti is here, Diane Miles, and Grace Markley. Hello, ladies. Okay, today we're going to talk about kids and the fears that they have, as random as they are, right? And the reason I bring this up is because I was going through my phone and I saw a video of Anna Kate, who's 9, but she is terrified of birds, ducks, anything that's on the ground. Walking, she is gonna run away. I'm gonna show you this video. This is a few years back, but just so you guys kind of see how terrified she is of geese.
Channel, hey. Dale, Ana. No, no te hace nada, Ana. There's not that channel. Hey. Dale, Ana. No, no te hace nada, Ana.
No, thank you, Mom. No, thank you, right?
I thought that she was a little small at the time, and I'm like, okay, I get it. But we went to Disney World, so we were in Florida, and there were birds everywhere. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Screaming from the top of her lungs for a cute little bird walking towards her. But then kids, they think differently and they feel differently. Do you guys remember if your kids were like terrified of something specific?
Oh my God. My son was, he hated roller coasters. And we were on one of those little ones that Elitch's.
The kiddie coaster.
Like, you know, you could jump off of it and you're fine. You know, nothing is going to happen. And I have a video of him like screaming at the top of his lungs, "We're gonna die! We're all gonna die!" I was like, D, it's embarrassing. Like,
it's embarrassing.
Baby, you could jump out of here and you're okay.
Yeah.
And my daughter was terrified to go into stores by herself, so I would have to go into stores. She just started going into stores really. Sorry, TT.
Really? Just stores? Like any store?
Just any store. 7-Eleven, I'd be right there in the front, going to the store,
I wish
she would be like, I'm not going in.
I wish I had that problem with my daughter, because I ended up spending money on that one. But
well, are you sure? Because then you go in and you are spending more money.
That is true.
You know? Yeah, and I was terrified of clouds.
Wait, clouds, like in the sky clouds? Diane Miles.
Oh my God, and I would run.
From the clouds? Well,
I mean, you can't run.
That's kind of impossible.
Well, I learned that, but I tried.
We need to unpack that one.
I know, there's a lot. There's probably a lot there. I don't.
Clouds. Well, what about your twins, Sarah? Like, are they scared of anything that you've been like, where did this come from?
It's recent. So one of them this past summer, before my dad passed, there was a hornet's nest at their cabin, and he walked into it. And then my dad kind of beat the whole nest, and he got stung all over. Oh. But that's really stayed with him. And so he's like, are there going to be hornets? Are there going to be, there's that. Then Eli recently he's having kind of like night terrors, and so he can't verbalize what's going on, but he'll wake up and he'll like run around the house until he sees me. And it's that one we can't really figure out.
Well, because sometimes we underestimate those young minds, but their little brains are working, and those are traumatizing situations for them.
They are.
Now, your kiddos, college, high school, but I'm sure you remember too, like what brought this
I had
on.
to go back a little, and my daughter was terrified of where the wild things are. Oh. Maurice Sendak, those fantastical creatures. And so we could never read the story together. You know, that was something missing from her childhood, were these wonderful stories by Maurice Sendak. And there was actually a recent exhibit at the Denver Art Museum of all of his artwork, and she said that was traumatizing for her.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
But I also want to validate, geese and birds are weird. So I understand your daughter's
I
thing.
run too.
They are weird.
You know?
Okay?
When you're in Disney World and you see a kid screaming and running around, there is a problem. Okay? I mean,
and roller coasters, by the way, also terrifying. Totally legitimate fear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they watch
validate the babies?
They watch Final Destination, or what happened there?
No, DJ, I think he has a fear of heights. Like when we went skydiving,
okay, fair enough.
He was like, "No, thank you."
Yeah, no.
And he was like, "I'll be down here." And we tried to like bribe him. We'll give you $1,000 if you jump. And he was like, "I'll keep it."
Really? And you're like, "Dang, this is real."
Attached to like not being in control. Right, there's a lot of fears around.
Dying.
I mean, he is
dying.
He is very
dying.
I literally am afraid of. I'm afraid to I'm afraid of dying. Like drop.
So how did you help your kids get through that? Because Abba was also terrified of elevators. I could not get her to go in an elevator. She just would not go in. I mean, she was terrified of elevators. And
sometimes, they're a little sketchy. You know,
Yeah.
are we
It
sure?
depends on the place.
Yeah,
But yes. But how did you deal with it? Does anybody recall? Like, what did you?
I
what
would
you
just
did?
make him get on roller coasters until he was
You
old enough
made
to
him
tell,
get on?
yes, girl, we're finna ride these roller coasters. I love a good Elitch's trip. You know, I pay for the express passes. We're getting on as many times as we can. Now he won't do any of that with me. He was like,
Yeah.
it's a hard no for me.
Still.
Oh, yeah,
He's
he is.
still terrified, okay?
Yeah, no.
How did you deal? Okay, well, I have to ask you because I'm picturing Eli running around the house terrified of some dream.
So when that happens, I just sit with them now. There's really nothing to do but sit with them and physical touch, right? Because I don't know where it's coming from.
Or what-
so we just
what-
sit with them,
yeah.
you know, and I'll just be there.
I'm not like a therapist or anything, but I know after the loss of my mom,
Yeah.
it being sudden, I would do that. I would
Okay.
wake up in the middle of the night panicked, and I would run around my house and check everybody and make sure
'Cause it
they were
has been-
breathing. And so that could be.
That could be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's,
that
it's
could be.
stemming from
I do think so
somewhere,
because it
right?
started this summer.
Yeah.
The whole little
Little
bird,
baby.
Anna with the little birds, I don't know where that could be stemming
Yeah.
from, but maybe she just thinks they're weird. I don't know. But
Yeah.
in
They're
your
scary.
case,
Yeah.
Could
Bird
peck you.
running up on
She
you?
might be afraid of being bitten or pecked.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, I respect it. Okay, but Grace, where do you? Yours is very specific.
Yes, I think it's scary images, and so we just introduced her to a lot of horror films.
Oh, you
did?
And just like scary movies just to scare it out of her.
Really?
And she loves them now. She goes to them all the time. She just went to go see Nosferatu, and I was like,
Okay,
I
so-
won't even go.
Okay,
so she's
so-
gone the opposite direction now.
She's gone in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. No,
I'm not watching a scary movie.
they just said in my ear it's exposure therapy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
It works.
We're going to be working on the whole little birds thing because it is very embarrassing. But I was attacked by a peacock back in the day. Peacocks are mean, but the little birds, I just don't get it. But okay, everybody, regardless, kids have fears. It happens. If your kiddo's going through a fear, please send us a question. Let us know what you're going through. It's super simple. The mamas would love to hear from you. MyCOCO at 9news.com.
I know what? I had a